mean, I guess it's a fairly good event when one of the main things I can complain about is the Wi-Fi literally never working at any point of the event.
That's it. That's my intro.
I'm Amanda, you're watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are talking about VidSummit, a content creator conference for not just content creators, but also businesses that want to work in the creator economy, managers. One group of people that this event is really not for is fans. And they straight up said that in the opening presentation, that there's no fans here. It's just creators, by creators, for creators, wanting to learn and grow and network. Lots of networking at this event. To me, my voice sounds weird. I have no idea if my voice sounds weird to you. I was talking the last 3 days straight, it felt like, and sometimes I was like yelling because could not hear people over music and such. It was also really hot and muggy in there. Any critiques I can talk about for the venue itself don't really matter because next year they're moving. They've acknowledged that they have outgrown this location, which was the Sheraton Gateway. I think here in Los Angeles, they acknowledged that they have definitely outgrown it. Even the main ballroom, there were multiple times where all the seats were filled and people were still filling around in standing rooms. So definitely they've outgrown this venue. So this was the 9th annual VidSummit, advertised as the most anticipated event for creators and marketers. VidSummit is where the world's top video creators, marketers, and brands reveal everything they know about turning videos into sales. Couple of things. One, I have heard about VidSummit before. As a non-full-time content creator prior to the pandemic, and as someone who wanted to grow on social media, I'm so sorry for my neighbors being loud upstairs. I knew about VidSummit prior to the pandemic, and it was just something that I never really got the chance to go to. It's a lot of money, and we'll talk about the price as well. It was just not something I could afford to go to prior to this year. Last year, on my podcast, which is currently on hiatus, the Swell Shenanigans podcast, I had my friend Roberto Blake, who is a creator that I refer to as a creator's creator. We really got to talking and became friends by killing each other in Among Us over the pandemic. That's how real friendships grow. VidSummit had just happened, and I hadn't heard about it. And he was like, "Why weren't you at VidSummit?" And I was like, "I didn't know it was happening." And so he was like, "You got to go next year." And my dad listened to the podcast and was like basically obsessed with Roberto and was like, "Why weren't we at VidSummit?" I just got back from Europe. You guys know this. And my dad was like, "I don't care if it's the day after you get off the plane. We're going to VidSummit." I'm like, "Okay, we're going." So we went. All right. So we got the registration goodie bag. We got some pins, Mr. Beast candy bar, some stickers, and tickets for tonight's welcome party for the bar. We get 2 free drink tickets. So that's already in there. Hopefully they let me cash this in for Diet Coke, but we shall see. And I got a small t-shirt. And my dad's gonna go and get his now. I think that's where VidSummit also very greatly differs from a lot of these social media events that I talk about. Usually I talk about marketing and how so many events, so many experiences, all this stuff could only benefit from more marketing, and how that's usually a failure of the event of like, hey, this is why no one's here. This is why the wrong types of people are here, is because of marketing. You guys are mismarketing the event. And normally I would say that, yeah, people not knowing about this event is a failure on the marketing of the event. And to some degree, yes, I do think that more marketing is always necessary. But I also do think that too much marketing could definitely hurt this event. The way that this event mostly operates is predominantly word of mouth. There's good and bad in that. I think it's kind of twofold, because on one hand, I think it's very good that it's word of mouth, because then the people that end up going to VidSummit are the people that are there to network, to learn, to grow, and not just to meet creators. I think too much marketing, advertising who's going to be there, you're gonna start getting more fans trickling in because they just wanna meet a creator. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but there's different events for that. There's events that are designed for you to meet content creators in a way that is safe for both you and the creator. This is just not that event. This is not a, I'm obsessed with you, can we get a selfie? Can we take, let me get you to sign this, all this stuff. This is just not that type of event. And so I think that the word of mouth kind of works that way, in a better way, because then the people that are finding this event on their own, whether it's word of mouth or not, like new people who have never been, who have never met a creator, who have never met someone else trying to grow, they're people who are digging for information, and the people that are really trying to study and grow and learn more from other creators that are bigger than them, or even creators that aren't bigger than them, but know how to do things better than them. Frankly, there was a bunch of creators that I met, some of whom I were speaking, who were smaller creators than me, who had way better intel, way better information than I do. And that's just how events like this, I'm going to kill my upstairs neighbors. They're so loud. There's also the other angle of this, which I'm going to put on my my little feminist cap here. This was a dude fest. Everyone was very nice, and I want to make that very clear. No one was creepy. This was honestly, overall, networking-wise, people-wise, a very great event. I only had one bad experience with a guy who was there to advertise his company. And honestly, I think I had a bad experience because I was raised by two people in sales, and I know bullshit when I smell it, okay? And so I was asking questions, trying to understand his business. He jumped into our conversation, was trying to get our contact information, trying to get signups for his website. And I was like, oh, what is it? Okay, it's affiliate marketing? And this guy goes, I can see why you would think it was affiliate marketing, but no, it continues to explain it in a way that makes zero fucking sense. Okay, my guy. Yeah, you're not? No. I had a lot of guys, male creators, a couple of people that were like volunteering for the event, and a couple of female creators that I met as well who were like, yeah, we need to get more women here. And I just told them, come here. A little closer. I don't know how close this is. William makes it uncomfortably close. All of a sudden, it's just my nose. No, but come closer. Let me tell you. Did you guys invite them to this event? Did you tell them about it? Again, this is a predominantly word of mouth event. Did you tell some female creators, some LGBTQ plus members? Did you tell them that they could come to this event? Because it doesn't matter what genre this is. What genre of YouTube. It's not just like the Mr. Beastified. We're going to talk about that. I like Mr. Beast, okay? I like his content. I'm not complaining about that. I'm not complaining about Jimmy whatsoever. I've not met Jimmy. I want to make that very clear. Not met Jimmy. But that was the overall vibe of this event, was like people that were like, I am desperate to be the next Mr. Beast by also being Mr. Beast. Which they straight up said at this event, the next Mr. Beast is not going to make Mr. Beast content. Did you invite beauty creators, lifestyle creators, horoscope and cosplay creators? Like there's such a wide range of content on YouTube, and there's a lot of female creators and LGBT plus creators on YouTube. And it's like, did you guys tell any of them about it? Like, what's wrong with shooting off a DM or sending out a mass email? Like, hey guys, we're doing this event. Did you guys have someone at VidCon talking about, I get it, you probably don't want to promote your event at a different event, but it's like in the creator lounges. I know some of you guys were in the creator lounges at VidCon. I saw you guys there. Like, they're like, were you going up to female creators or in groups or whatever and being like, yeah, hey, we have this event coming up. It's in LA. It's a couple of months from now. We'd love for you to come check it out. It's for creators by creators. There's ways to do this in a way that I think would get a way more broad split of your audience than just a lot of guys, which again, everyone was great. I'm not trying to like be like the women would be better. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just literally, people were asking me, how do we get more women here? And I'm literally telling you, it's so simple. It's just, hey, here's who's speaking. Hell, I got to check the lineup because I kept trying to go to talks, and thankfully VidSummit has a replay. So all the talks were recorded, and like, as someone who bought a ticket, I get a replay. I believe the replay is actually still for sale. If you are a creator that you get a lot out of my review of this event and you want to hear more or learn more about some of the talks I'm going to talk about, honestly, look at the replays. I'm fairly certain one, maybe two women were on the main stage throughout the 2 days. I get it. You've got Shonduras, Derral, and then Mr. Beast as like your main three guys. You had a lot of volunteers that were women creators. I spoke to a bunch of them. They were great. I'm literally not trying to fit a diversity quota. I'm just saying that the creator space and creators who want to learn more and how to better their content is so much more broad than just like the Mr. Beast style of creators that are inspired by Mr. Beast. And so I just think there's a way to like get more people here. And like, everyone could benefit from this information, really. There were a lot of women that did speak at this event. I want to make that clear, but there were predominantly, from my understanding, from what I've seen, on panels and also in like the rooms that were in like the bonus smaller ballrooms and stuff. One talk, which was great, I'm gonna pull it up. Melanie Diane Howe, she did a presentation called Your Audience Deserves You, so get real. And she was giving a talk about like basically how to be your authentic self, how to get with yourself so that your audience can get with you. And that's something that I talk about a lot. And so I went to this talk. It was at 8 a.m. And I think that that was, again, doing a disservice to Melanie because this was a good talk. This was important. And again, it's off to the side, but you stuck her at 8 a.m. It's day 2 and you guys had the networking party the night before where everyone was sloshed. The Woman in Tech podcast in an adjoining room, also 8 a.m. Because some people said like, oh yeah, no, it was way more broy last year. There are more women this year. And then someone said, no, it's literally like the same amount of women. Like it's not much different. All in all, the fact that this is like a thing that they can track about how much women is coming to your event. Apparently the very first VidSummit, there was like 40 people there or something, if that. And now I think the number, I heard 1,400. I honestly think it could be more than that, but I genuinely don't know. There wasn't really an expo hall here. There was like kind of like the main entry area past registration. Registration took a long time, but apparently what the issue was is so everything was done through the Whova app, WHOVA, which was a good thing, I think, mostly. And what I liked about the Whova app is everyone can fill in their personal information. So for an event like this that is very heavy on networking, people could be like, oh, are you on the Whova app? Okay, cool. I'll check you out there, you know, and like talk through there and message through there. There was also meetups that we could do where anyone can make a meetup. First night, I went to people with over 100K meetup because I've got 300K on YouTube, and I met a bunch of creators there, which was really nice. And I've decided that I'm not going to talk about the names of people that I met, just because I did the same thing with VidCon. I didn't talk about names of people that I met. And I think that that's better because inevitably I'll leave someone out and then they'll feel bad and then I'll feel like an asshole. And I just think this is better. Past registration was like a bunch of the sponsor booths. The one booth that I never try to talk to is Spotter. They were a main sponsor of the event. Listen, you guys can do whatever you want with your content, whatever you want. All the creators that follow me, some of whom I met this weekend, were like, I can't wait to see your video. Do whatever you want with your content. And apparently Mr. Beast, because that's what he said on stage, would never sell my backlog, would never sell my backlog of content to anyone. I don't care what you're gonna do with it. I don't care how much you're gonna pay me. We're gonna pay you 2 times the ad revenue from last year. My entire channel, I made a lot of money in ad revenue last year. You can double that, good to know. But see, even then, if it's worth that much to you, then why would I be willing to sell it to you? If you have that much value in my content, then obviously my content is valuable. So why should I sell it to you? What do you get from it that I can't be getting from it when it's under my name? And again, it doesn't make sense for me because I license a lot of content from my videos. I've licensed footage to MTV. I've licensed footage to Dr. Phil. I'm in talks to license another like 3 videos to a different company right now for a documentary series. Tried to go to a bunch of talks. Melanie's talk I liked. I really liked Roberto's talk. Roberto's talk was great. My dad and his friend were there. I just hear my dad next to me going to his friend. This is great. Roberto's a very great creator. If you guys want to go check out his videos, I like his videos a lot. Great guy, great content, very no bullshit when it comes to content creation. Something that I thought was interesting was a lot of various opinions on shorts. YouTube recently announced that they are looking into a revenue share with YouTube shorts, the way that they do with YouTube long form videos like this one that you're watching with the Google AdSense. And honestly, I was kept telling people like, if they're able to do that, every other short form platform is screwed. They are, and that's just the reality of it. Talked about this previously. Every other short form platform, every other platform that has tried to mimic TikTok, or technically, I guess you could say mimic YouTube, because that's really what they're doing if you look at like, at least as far as paying creators go. They've rolled back what they've started, Instagram, Snapchat. TikTok always sucked with paying creators. They just always have. If YouTube can do a revenue split with shorts in a way that makes sense for both them and the creators, why would these full-time creators on TikTok be bothering to do that if they can make money, real money from the same views on YouTube? Right now, that's not the case. There's not a revenue split. It's still the Shorts Fund. They are still negatively monetized right now on YouTube, okay? And that's a phrase that someone asked me about that. It's like, how'd you come up with that? I was like, I didn't. It was Hank Green. Hank Green talked about it in his talk from VidCon, which he was supposed to be a keynote, but then he got COVID. But anyways, I'll link that down below because I think that's a great talk if you guys want to hear that. And that's on YouTube. I can link that. Yay! But there was a lot of mixed opinions on Shorts because a lot of TikTokers that I was talking to were like, yeah, I'm just re-uploading my shorts on YouTube, but that I'm not getting monetized. And I'm like trying to give them ideas of how they can repackage their TikToks to YouTube in long form videos. Like, hey, we can do compilations, you know, like, hey, here's me reacting to my top 5 most viral TikToks, like little things to kind of get at least your TikTok audience started over onto YouTube, because that's a major issue that TikTokers are having, is getting them to follow you. And then, you know, at least there you start getting a little bit more monetized from that. and then you start doing the long form content that you like doing as far as your TikTok content. I really liked being able to talk with people like this about this, which was nice. I was able to help try and give actionable advice in a way that I hope wasn't condescending. Please tell me if I was being annoying. People kept being like, oh, I'm glad I talked to you. So that was nice. I don't know how I come across at these things. I really don't. I believe it was Eric who said that you should do a 2-to-1 ratio when it comes to shorts on YouTube. So if you post 4 long form videos a month, you should only post 2 shorts a month. For me, with shorts, everyone that I've talked to about how great YouTube Shorts is, they're creators who don't make long form videos, or they don't really care about making long form videos. TikTokers that are trying to grow on YouTube. So they're like, yeah, here's how you do it. And they talk about YouTube Shorts. I am a full-time YouTuber. Long form content is not changing. I talk too much. This video is evident of that. I'm not going to become a shorts creator tomorrow. It's just not happening. So I need to know how I can implement shorts in my channel in a way that keeps people engaged and maybe gets a few more subscribers without sacrificing my overall algorithm or my overall audience that likes my long form videos. And so the 2-to-1 ratio, I think, makes the most sense to me. Some people have talked about how great shorts are, and some people talked about, it's currently not for me. I don't see the value in it for my content. And again, I think that's important to talk about, how I am a mid-sized creator. I need to know if this new tool, this new implement for YouTube is going to be hurtful or helpful to my channel. I need to know that. And not just from someone who's only doing that thing, someone who's doing everything, which is what Eric was doing. So that was nice to hear. Oh yeah, I should talk about my sweatshirt. You can finally see it here. Yeah, I wore this kind of as a joke. This has nothing to do with VidSummit. Don't Instagram your crimes. I mainly just think it's good life advice. And I was kind of hoping that maybe someone was going to be sweating like, oh my God, what did she see at VidSummit? Nothing happened at VidSummit that I think is worthy of don't Instagram your crimes. I just think it's life advice. And also, I am by nature, first and foremost, a little shit. So everyone was asking who was I excited to see. I really didn't have anyone I was looking forward to seeing. I really didn't. I don't go into these events like I've talked about. It's not even like a fandom thing. I don't go into these events like wanting to meet someone. I go to, one, try and get the most out of the experience, and also, again, see if this is something that I want to do again. And I know that sounds weird, but I try not to go into these events with a game plan, because then I feel like I'll inevitably be disappointed if I am not able to match that game plan. And so I met, like I said, a lot of creators that were really great. I had someone walk up and was like, yeah, I like your videos. I like your videos. Yeah, I was watching it and I just thought, this girl's got great storytelling, but her thumbnails are ass. And I mean, you're not wrong. I would say that was the main consistent takeaway I got from this, was that everyone was talking about, to me, how much they liked my videos and my storytelling. But then like once thumbnails came around, that is my kryptonite apparently, which fair. I barely spend any time. You know how much time I spend on my thumbnails? My videos go live at 10. I sit down to make my thumbnail at 9. That's what happens with my thumbnails. I know that. It's the last thing I do. And so I know that there's things that I need to work on with thumbnails. But the thing is that even events like this, the Mr. Beastified thumbnails don't work for me. For most of my content, it's not going to work. The whole, I'm stuck in a circle, reaching out of a circle, and like everything's super bright and colorful, and my face is like, that's not going to work for me because of my type of content. I got some actionable advice that I can work with that's not exactly like the kind of clickbaity style of thumbnail. Just again, would not work for me. But also that seemed to be the overall consensus, was like, yeah, we need to fix your thumbnails. I don't even know how I will start. We're gonna figure it out. What I did like about this event as well was that there was a lot of talk about like, yeah, how can you get better at this? You can talk about how easy it is for everyone else or how to blow up and all this stuff. But like, you can't go viral if you didn't post the video. That video, it's not luck. You can't go viral if the video wasn't posted. If you're not posting the video, then someone else is gonna post the video, and then they didn't steal your idea, you didn't post the video. Something that Ryan Trahan talked about as well was like, there's so many small creators spending their life savings on that video, and then they feel awful and they're broke because the video doesn't go viral. People talk about, the Mr. Beast style of content. I wanna be the next Mr. Beast. Cool, are you ready to sit there and film a video for several hours where all you do is count to 1,000 or 100,000. What was it he counted to? He counted to an insane number, okay? And he did that because he knew his time wasn't worth anything yet. As soon as he got a brand deal, he put it right back into his content and all this stuff. It's like, you guys look at the current stage of Mr. Beast and ignore the history of Mr. Beast. You ignore the history of Ryan Trahan. No one starts where they're at now, is my point. And so many of these aspiring creators just see that. And you gotta look at the history. And if the history's been deleted, because a lot of people do that, they do delete their backlogs. choices. Not sure how I feel about it. You don't need a big team. You don't need a ton of money. You don't need to buy an insane amount of things to go and do this and all this stuff. I don't think you need that. Let me talk about the after party because some people, I posted about it. So at 6 p.m., they did the end of, hey, thank you for coming. Goodbye. End of event. Everyone's breaking things down. I'm talking to people. I got invited to one after party. It was kind of funny. This guy had like a plastic ball with like the address and the contact information on it and like handed it to me. And he was like, you have been chosen. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Honestly, I was gonna go. And then I was like, do I want to go? I'm so tired. And then as I was leaving, my dad had already left at that point. As I was leaving to go to my car and just kind of do one last lap, see if there's anyone else I wanted to say goodbye to, guy walks up. He said, hi. I'm supposed to find someone with a blue wristband and give them this red wristband. Is that person you? And I was like, sorry, what? I was very confused. And he was like, so I only have one red wristband, but I keep finding groups, but you're walking alone. Do you want the red wristband? And I was like, what does this get me? The event's over. He was like, it gets you into the after party. That's all I know. I'm a +1 of a speaker and neither of us are going. So he told me he was going to go find someone to give his wristband and I was supposed to find someone to give my wristband. If you don't want it, you can hand it off to someone else because we're going to head out. And here's my main problem. This is where I failed. I got his name. I did not get the speaker's name. This is on me. This is entirely my fault at this point because I was given this little gift. This is the people being like, hey, go to the after party. Go. I was going to go home and instead I was handed this. Okay. I even found the address of the party, drove my friend, went over there, and then I wasn't on the list. And they were like, what's the speaker's name? And Josh texted me later. He's like, you literally could have said any speaker's name. And instead you said you didn't know the guy's name. Because I didn't. And I didn't want to lie. See, this is the thing. Because this is my issue with these things. Because everyone talks about how I'm able to like talk my way into events and talk my way around and stay in events and all this stuff. That's not this. I wasn't trying to sneak into this event. I am literally working with these people. I'm in this industry. I'm going to try and finesse my way into speaking at the next VidSummit because I think you need more people talking about things that aren't just, view retention and things like that. That's my opinion. And so obviously I don't want to make a scene with the organizers of the event at the Mr. Beast after yacht party. Okay. I was trying to make sure that he had a ride and then I left and went and got in and out and went home. Honestly, I respect the event more because they didn't let me in. He was telling me, it's like, you literally could have said any speakers' names because I did have friends that were speaking and I was just like, yeah, but I don't want to name drop. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that bitch and forever be known as that bitch that name dropped at a VidSummit after party. I don't want to do that. I'm not that person. All in all, I had a good time at this event, but let's talk about pricing. Okay, so a VidSummit replay, so just the recordings of VidSummit, $199 for 2022. Honestly, for the amount of information that you get and for the price of VidSummit that we're going to talk about, that's a pretty good deal. If you want the information I'm talking about, things like that, if you want to hear some talks. Again, there was a lot of great talks. I have to check the replays. I haven't checked my replays yet. I think I get them in a week. Now, for the ticket, let me pull up my email. My receipt. Ready? VidSummit and replays. $995. It's a conference. To be fair, conferences are often more expensive than conventions. That being said, with the amount of attendees that you have, I think you can lower the price. I know you don't want to, but I also think that this price makes sense when you are expecting less people to come through. And I think that, bigger venue, I think you can do lower ticket prices. I also heard that there was a lot of volunteer positions and that a lot of the volunteers only had to pay $50 to attend. Volunteering at these events is a good way. They were able to go and see a lot of the talks while also running the event, which was nice. I talked to a lot of the volunteers. Obviously sponsors, I have no idea what the sponsor tables were. I heard one that was allegedly $50,000 for a sponsor spot. Allegedly. I did not get confirmation. I know it's a lot of money and I get they want to have, the barrier to entry. Like it's people that are really wanting to learn, really wanting to grow and all this stuff. I got my ticket in August, so I don't remember if they were doing any promotions, but obviously, again, we talked about marketing, limited marketing, no idea what the promotions are, but if you're following now, if I were to buy it for right now, it would have been $1,295. So they did raise the price the closer it got to the event. It's a lot of money, and I'm not gonna sit here and tell you it's not a lot of money or that this is all entirely worth it. As someone who's already working in this space and attending events like this is part of the job. And since I'm reviewing it, it's also a tax write-off, or at least partially. Is this one partial? I've talked to my accountant. It might be a partial. Lots of creator finance people there, which is good. There needs to be more financial talks at events like these. You have so many talks that are like, here's how to make $100,000 off of YouTube. Here's how to make a $100,000 video. What about after you make the $100,000? How about let's talk financial planning. Let's talk what taxes are. Let's talk about retirement, the retirement plan that YouTube does not give us. You know, let's talk about lack of job security in this industry. Let's talk about lifestyle creep. The lifestyle creep in this industry is insane. I also think there needs to be more online safety things. I was talking with, again, I talked about this with a lot of female creators, but this is something that applies to male creators as well. How many male creators have talked about fans showing up at their houses or them being followed and swatted? Like, how many female streamers have stalkers and freaking someone asked to kidnap me 2 days ago? This just happened. It's not just being safe online. Once you are a public figure as a content creator, and I know we hate talking about parasocial relationships, but it does exist. It happens. There needs to be discussions about safety at events like this for how to safely conduct yourself as a full-time content creator or a content creator in general. Because at the end of the day, you are still showing yourself and parts of your life to strangers on the internet. And there are I sound like a 90s commercial talking about internet safety. Anyways, my point stands. There needs to be talks about things like that at events like this, in my opinion, not just growth. There needs to be things for after the fact, especially when you have so many creators that are new or growing creators. People with like 1,000 to 100,000, that's who needs to know about things like this, because there are, honestly, and I'll talk about this, when you're in that pocket, that's when a lot of fans are very entitled to your time, that they are the reason that you have a platform and that you are making money and that this is your job. And so there needs to be talks talking about how to navigate those types of interactions that will inevitably happen when you're in that pocket of growth, when you're growing. Something that was really cool to see was Colin and Samir. They hit 1 million while on stage, which was cool. They did talk about how it took us 10 years to hit 1 million, and then they literally hit 1 million on stage, which was very cool. The energy in the room for that was really cool. Will I be going next year? Yes. I've been told I don't have a choice by my father and other creators that I met, so I'm going regardless. If I could speak next year, that'd be cool. I had a couple people who were like, why aren't you talking? And I was like, I didn't know it was an option to apply to. So apparently I have to apply to speak, so I'm gonna do it now. I don't know, I'm sure I'll send Derral or Shonduras or Mr. Beast an email of my summarized notes of how to get, how to make this event a little bit better and get more women and LGBT creators at this event. So my work's not done. A lot of my complaints for being a mid-sized creator at a lot of these social media events and what I got out of them and what I was lacking, I really got here. The networking, the talking with brands. All in all, had a very nice time meeting everyone. Everyone was very nice. And again, if we talked about exchanging things and I missed it, again, the Wi-Fi sucked, okay? Please DM me and be like, where the hell is my follow back? Do it. Why not? Send me the Hoova app. I'm still checking that. You can message me on there as well. That's gonna be it. Have you ever heard of VidSummit? Are you interested in VidSummit now? What price do you think would make sense for something like VidSummit? How do you think you would get other types of creators at VidSummit? Let me know. Comment down below. Like I said, I have a podcast, the Swell Entertainment podcast. It's currently on hiatus, but I do have episodes. Reminder, I have merch like that mug back there. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. If you'd also support my Patreon, that'll be listed down below. Like to my on my social media, that'll be all up here. And that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Like all of these events, there's usually a Q&A portion at the end of a big talker's presentation where they take questions, okay? And they give out mics into the audience, or they have everyone line up with a microphone down the aisles. They made a comment about this. I think they should have enforced it more. If you are self-promoting or pitching your company, no one in the room likes you, and it's really inconsiderate to the person on stage. Ask your question and move on. Everyone's annoyed with you automatically.
You, Alan, Cameron, Christopher, Chris, Crash PC, China, David, Dirty One, Don, Elliot, Evan, Eric, Ayal, Hopeless, Incognito, Ray, James, Joe, John M, Jordan, Joseph, Kenny, Kim, Kristen, Lamb, Lexi, Luis, Matt O, Matthew S, Meme Lord, Michael J, Micah, Nathan, Nathaniel, Pat, Penn, Richard, Rob, Red, Robert, Ross, Sam, Serena, Skylar, Simon, Tasha, Timothy, Tom, Cutie, Randy, Wendy, Williams, Endries, Wink.